What's up guys, it's National Master DemApples back again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to solve chess puzzles faster. Now, in my previous video, I did puzzles up to roughly 20, but from here we're going to do more advanced puzzles from 20 onward. So the first thing you want to be looking for, again, just with a recap, is checks, captures, and threats, in that order. If something happens to be a check and a capture, it's probably even better for you. And if it happens to be, I don't know, just a capture, it's probably not as great, but you have to examine all three of these. Mainly just checks and captures, and this should easily get you to 60 in Puzzle Rush. I am not even joking. So again, let's look at some checks and captures. We can take this bishop, but that's a capture, right? So what checks do we have? Bishop b5. Let's calculate that one first. Pawn takes bishop, and we don't really get anything. What about bishop takes pawn? Okay, well, that's just checkmate, so we don't have to keep calculating. That's pretty nice. So this is a check and a capture, and we should probably take a look at that first. But after pawn takes pawn and rook takes pawn, what is our follow-up? Well, we can look at this check, let's say, and after he captures back, we can have another check on h2, but after king to g8, it doesn't seem like we really accomplished anything. So we can rule this one out for now. Don't stop calculating it, of course, but just for now, right? Our second check is rook to h8. King takes is forced. We can check again. And after king to g8, we have checkmate on h7. And this is another checkmating pattern you should know. I believe it's called Damiano's mate or something along those lines. And yeah, those are just patterns that you should have in the back of your head when you're doing these. Alright, here we don't really have any checks or captures. I mean, like, we're not really going to take this knight or this pawn or any of the other pawns for that matter. We're also not going to check him here or here. But that's when we have to turn to threats, right? Well, what can we threaten, right? Well, we're pretty underdeveloped here, so what we need to do is threaten checkmate usually, or the winning of a piece. Now, the thing is, all his pieces are really nicely protected, right? Which is a hint to us that we need to make a threat on the king. We can't make a threat on the piece because it's just going to be defended. So, let's go bishop f5, threatening mate, and he does not have a good way to stop it. He has to give up a piece, and now we are up a piece, or a rook, I guess. And now white takes this pawn here. Alright. Checks, captures, threats. We're not going to take this one here. That just blunders an entire queen after calculating one move. We could take this here, but then white has multiple moves that could be annoying. I'd say after rook takes bishop, white can go rook check with a discovered attack on our bishop. So when we come back to block, white can probably exchange and then take our bishop here, leading him to be up an entire rook. So that's probably not the solution. And so what we want to do is make a threat. And this happens to be a capture and a threat, so even better for us, right? So we take here, threatening the queen and the bishop. A double attack in a way. Now, here our opponent's being tricky. He wants us to take his bishop. So after we take, our queen is no longer defending our bishop, and he can take back with an equal material position. But, of course, we can just take his queen and take this bishop, leading us to be up an entire piece. Checks, captures, threats again. Checks first. This is stupid. We're going to be losing a rook. And don't spend time on things that are just completely stupid. I'm just demonstrating it right now. So this is another check, and after the king goes to g1 or h1, our next check is going to be here. One of the most important things in puzzles are that you have a follow-up. And so in this case we do, which is another check followed by checkmate. If you don't have a follow-up, it's probably not the right move. So I'm just going to keep going past these puzzles using the exact same method I've had before. This is actually called a windmill, and it's a pretty important technique to know. Again, and you have to know variations of the back rank mate. Like, the first 20 puzzles are all just back rank mate in a sense, but from 20 to 40, a lot of back rank mates are sprinkled in. And so this is another variation of it. After takes, we have back rank mate because the rook is pinned. and checks, captures, threats, and in this case, I believe we can just check him to get out of the way of our attack, because he's attacking our rook right now. And we can probably just push our pawn to victory. This isn't really much of a tactic, it's just like push your pawn and promote. I mean, that's not too hard. And to be fair, that's the essence of a lot of the problems here, right? Push your pawn and promote. Like, is it that hard? You just promote your pawn and win the game. Now we're in check, we have to decide where to go. And the ones where you're in check are oftentimes the hardest ones, because you're like, oh, there are no more forcing moves. You can't, like, do checks, captures, or threats. I mean, I guess you could make a threat with your king. In this case, you can. But the thing is, you don't know where to move when it's a check. So the thing is, let's examine all these positions. First of all, it's important to note that if this square was taken away from black's king, or if it were our move, per se, and this square we're taking away for black's king, we could go rook e8 check, king g7, and rook to g8 checkmate. Unfortunately, this square is not under our control, but we can make it under our control with king here or king here. Now, as a rule of thumb, we want to keep our pieces as active as possible, and king here would block our rook a bit, right? So we wouldn't even be threatening anything. Therefore, by process of elimination, we're going to go king g6, and black cannot stop checkmate on e8. Queen a3. Again, this one's just a threat. No checks or captures really work here. They're kind of stupid. So we're just going to threaten checkmate on h8, which is quite unstoppable. And of course, these are like the random ones that you get every once in a while where you need to be a bit careful. But in this case, the knight is pinned, and you just need to have full board vision here. That's just a free pawn if you really think about it. And from here on out, it should be rather simple, but again, it's not that easy here, right? Our rook is under attack, and we need to force checkmate somehow. Because the thing is, if we do not force checkmate here, we're going to be screwed. So, how do we force checkmate here? Well, we got to look at checks, captures, and threats, and honestly, I don't think this is a 1700 puzzle. It should be much higher than that. So, let's take a look. Rook g6 check, and he'll take our pawn. We don't have any follow-up. When we don't have a follow-up, it's probably time to stop looking. And, like, okay, we can take this knight. But it's not really great, because now black gets to check us, and although you can calculate it if you like, I'm not going to because I see the solution. Again, so we can't really check here, and so we gotta take a look at our other checks. We can't really take here because, again, this gives black the initiative. We want to keep the momentum on our side and keep checking him. So, the move here that we have to play is... just kidding. It is not queen a6 check. Although it might look good at first after king takes g5, queen g6, king f4, and knight to d5 checkmate. Black does not have to play king takes rook. Don't assume that your opponent has to play what you want. He's just going to take you. He's just gonna block, and you'll be sad. So, I believe this solution is just to check and take this free knight. I believe our king is safe enough, and this is what makes part of these puzzles hard, right? Like, you don't know whether your king is safe or not, but sometimes you just gotta brute force calculate it. And in this case, our king is rather safe. And here, this looks pretty bad. He's gonna promote his pawn, so that's a hint that we need to do something, and we need to do it quick. So, in this case, checks, captures, threats. This happens to be a check. Another check. And, well, that was mate, actually, so no need to keep calculating. Again, this is a simple one. Check, checkmate. Always checks, captures, and threats in this order. And this is another variation of the back rank checkmate. The rook is pinned, cannot block. After we take, this is mate. Yeah. The other tip is just know your back rank mates and recognize them when you see them. Back rank mates are going to save you a lot. And this one, again, you don't really know exactly what it is, but you know that the first move has to be a check. And why do I say this? Well, so the momentum is clearly on black's side here. He has 2 checkmate threats. He has one on c1 and one on b3, so this is pretty bad. Which gives us a hint to what the solution may be, right? We need to keep checking him. So queen e5 check, and in this case, we can just win a piece with a nice fork at the end. So sometimes you don't even need to calculate it, right? You just need to recognize, oh, I need to check here, because if I don't, I'm going to lose the game. So that's a hint. And again, this is another back rank checkmate. I don't know why they keep giving us these. And here, oh, this is a pretty nice one, actually. So we notice Black's queen is in a slightly precarious situation, but our rook is being attacked. What should we do? Take a look at the material count first and foremost. It's roughly equal, so we can afford to lose a bit. It's not like we're down a lot. That's another tip. You gotta look at the material imbalance. If you're down a ton of material, you know that the solution has to be winning a lot of material or checkmating. If you're not down material, then the solution might just be to solidify your position and run away with the win with your material advantage. In this case, our rook is attacked, so we should probably defend it while attacking. And this again is a double attack on the queen and on the bishop. So Black is forced to sacrifice his bishop, and we end up material. And so White is going to play bishop to b6 here. And this is a bit of a tricky one, right? But if you've watched my previous video on why you lose at chess, which you should definitely watch, you'll know that the number one reason why chess players lose is because they just hang their pieces. And so, again, this one is no exception. Our knight is trapped, so we're pretty much screwed, and our rook is under attack. But after this, we have this very nice fork. And this is something you have to just calculate. It's not some checks, captures, threats thing, although I guess it is a capture and then a threat, but you know. Anyways, here it looks like we have two options here. We can either capture back with the rook, or we can capture with the bishop. And this is for puzzle 40, so yeah, if you got here, you're pretty good. Congrats. And the question is, which one should we capture with, right? So let's take a look at capturing with the rook. Now, either way, White is going to get a check on us. So that's not very good. But after, say, king here, we should be chilling. Now, if we take with the bishop, though, we have even more threats. Think about it, right? We attack the rook while simultaneously threatening checkmate. So I think that bishop takes is better because it's a threat and a capture, right? And while this is also a threat and a capture, White can easily get out of it with a simple check. So let's take back with the bishop. Looks kind of counterintuitive, but White is forced to give up his queen, and now we win it. And so, again, that's all you really need to know. Checks, captures, threats, and rule out all the stupid stuff, and hopefully you picked up on the little tidbits I gave throughout the entire video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.